Hello, I'm Bunny Galore, the queen of the cult movies. I am so excited today because I'm here in the Arrow video store. It's like heaven. Honestly, I'm not leaving. They're going to have to call security. I am a horror host. That means I host horror movies. I do lots of lovely films all the way from the 80s till the late 80s. Now, I'm really excited today because I thought, since I really love the 80s, I would bring you 6 of my favorite films to survive the 80s. Now, to start with, I thought, well, this is a slight cheat because I've just said 80s and you're going to say, Bunny, you're crazy. How do you look that good at your age? No, you would also think this actually is from 1979, but I'm going to go for Salem's Lot.
Stephen King, the best-selling author of Carrie and The Shining, takes you on a startling journey to Salem's Lot.
Now, you are shouting at me saying this is 1979, a miniseries, but it was actually shown in the UK in September 1981. And I know that because I saw it.
David Soul and James Mason star in a 2-part adaptation of Stephen King's best-selling novel, Salem's Lot.
I'm probably about 10 years old at this point, and I think I must have seen maybe the BBC Dracula and maybe the Frank Langella Dracula, but I was allowed to stay up and watch this miniseries, which is probably a mistake by my parents because, one, it set me off on a road to horror, but also this is absolutely terrifying. This is about an author that goes to a small town and discovers there's evil there, and mayhem ensues because that's actually vampires. The design of Mr. Barlow, the head vampire, is absolutely traumatizing. He kind of looks like Nosferatu from the original 1922 movie. David Soul, oh my gosh, literally makes me in love with long-haired blonde guys the rest of my life. But there's so many things in this that I think is a first. Now, one of the things is bringing vampires to a TV movie in America. This is like a mainstream miniseries. And also vampires looking like the undead. Because everything up to this point, vampires look really pretty and kind of dashing. This is the first time where they really look like corpses. Jan Francis in Dracula 1978 aside. So if you don't have this in your collection, I do suggest getting this one because it's still a classic. This has got the 2-part miniseries on there and also the theatrical cut, which was released in the UK, which for years, that's the only way we could see it here. So it's great to have both as an option on this. Moving on, darlings, let's peruse. Oh, so many pretty things. I love them all. Oh, so nice. Okay, right. Here we go. Return of the Living Dead.
The Return of the Living Dead.
This film is a rites of passage movie, and this kind of really set up for me watching horror on VHS because I'd watched all the Universal movies, all the Hammer horror movies, but then the video store arrived in the mid-80s and I would rent a lot of horror movies. And this is one of those films that everybody talks about, partly because it has quite a bit of nudity in it. And it's like a punk rock, sexier version of zombie movies. Obviously, George A. Romero and John Russo did the original, and they split and they kind of did 2 separate fractions of zombie movies. George A. Romero did Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, the more serious ones. And then Josh Russo did this version, which is more of a comedic one. You might see a pattern forming soon that I like comedy horror, and that is very true because I love horror because it's a roller coaster, but sometimes you need a bit of comedy in there as well. One of the most disturbing scenes is when they're trying to talk to one of the corpses and they go, why do you say brains all the time? Because that's kind of the catchphrase, brains. Turns out that's what helps ease the pain. I think that's one of the most disturbing things in any horror movie because when you start thinking about it, yeah, being a corpse would hurt and brains would make the pain go away. There we go. Sexy and gives you nightmares. A bit like me. Going to move on a little bit further to, where was it? Oh.
Creepshow 2.
Now, this is Creepshow 2. This is the sequel to Creepshow, and it's an anthology movie, which means, if you don't know, it's a movie with almost like TV episodes dotted through it. It became really popular in the late 60s, 70s because you could film with people like big names, and you wouldn't need them for the entire movie. What is lovely about Creepshow? Oh, this is such a lovely box set as well. Oh, look at that, so pretty. It has a cartoon host.
Still here, kiddies.
So I am a horror host. This is a good example of this kind of storyteller that links the material together. In Creepshow, I think it's particularly fun because, if you get bored of a story, you just wait for the next one to come along. My favorite part of this movie is the episode called
The Raft.
The Raft is 4 teens going swimming, and they're on this raft, and then suddenly in the water, there's this oil slick, but the oil slick eats people. So they can't get off the raft. What are they going to do? Are they going to sacrifice somebody? Are they going to try and jump in and swim to shore? Very sexy guys in there as well. I'm not saying that's a very good selling point to this, but it's one of those films that I discovered on VHS as well, and probably the first time I'd seen like a horror host character, which actually we don't have in the UK. We have things like Jack and Ori, but we don't weirdly have horror hosts. But this is one of those really fun movies, and if it's a good introduction to any horror fanatic, I think, that you want to show to family, friends, or maybe a pet. Now, where will we going? I would go further into, that was 1987. Let me go this way. Hold on. So, staying with 1987. I love this film. Vamp.
Vamp, a comedy with bites.
Vamp is one of those movies, I think it possibly started off as one thing and then it morphed towards something else with the casting of Grace Jones. So this is kind of a bit of an Animal House, frat house kind of movie, a bit like Dusk Till Dawn. So it's 2 guys and another guy that they've used him for his car.
Take me with you and just pretend to be my friends for a week.
Go to the town to hire a stripper at a very sleazy strip bar.
A stripper, and by tonight.
You'd probably have like that kind of Marlene Dietrich, star role of like the head dancer, and anything else, like say Showgirls or something like that. But in this film, because it's Grace Jones, something goes very avant-garde. And particularly her first number is, I think, one of my favorite numbers in musical theatre film, and she's just doing this very sort of like artistic dance to this beat, and she's covered in this very famous artist's artwork. She's got this red bob wig on that's kind of very pointy, and legend has it that after the take that everybody is slightly slack-jawed, and they have to take a second before they go and react to it. And apparently that is real because they were so shocked at this number. I think Grace Jones is wonderful in this because she has no dialogue. She's just this very statuesque, glamorous presence. It has complete power over everybody. Of course, the boys have to try and escape the club in one piece and not become dinner, but I love Vamp. It was very, very unavailable for years and years and years. It held up with rights, I guess, issues everywhere, but thankfully it's back now. And the Arrow release, particularly, I think is stunning. There we go, Vamp. Oh, I love that movie. Moving on to 1988. So, these films I saw at the cinema. And this one has, I think, probably quite a big legacy. It's become a game lately. They've been trying to make a sequel for a very long time. It is Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
What are you in for?
Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It's crazy.
Oh, I love this film so much. Now, it's one of those, it's quite a simple concept to this movie. Aliens invading a small town. However, the aliens look like scary clowns. And it's all like rubber mask, quite, big-headed kind of things going on. But there's something about the way they've done it. So it's like very lined faces and caked makeup. Don't say anything. But it's terrifying and hilarious at the same time. And the way they dispatch any of their victims, it's like clown themed. If you've not seen it, do yourself a favor. I always thought I was the only person that remembered this movie, but it turns out there's a huge following for this. And they've been trying to make a sequel for quite a long time. It's one of those, you'll see some of the actors pop up in other things sometimes and you just think, but I only know you from Killer Klowns from Outer Space. And I really thought for a long time like nobody else would kind of get that reference. I love seeing this at the cinema and then rented it ad nauseum on VHS. Of course I own the Arrow copy now. And also, I got proposed to by a killer clown at a convention once. I said yes. He still hasn't rung. I'm bringing out the big guns now. This is an important one. When I can find her. So 1988 was another very seminal year. Because at the cinema again was released in the UK this film. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
See Elvira as Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
But if they ever ask about me, tell them I was more than just a great set of...
It's the greatest double feature of all time.
It's weird to think there was a time when I didn't know who Elvira was. Because in the UK, we didn't have her TV show, Movie Macabre. She, of course, is a horror host, like myself. She's not the first, but she's the most famous and, frankly, the best.
Yes, sirree, it's Lilo Me, that gal with a shape that drives me ape.
She started in 1981 on a local channel in California, and it just grew from there. And I think perhaps I saw the trailer and thought that looks great fun, and I went to the cinema to see this and was obsessed. And it's one of those weird things where I remember coming out of the cinema, turning back and looking at it's one of those 3-screen ones, and it had all the lettering on the front, like in the traditional cinema, and it said Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And I just remember that burning into my mind, thinking, this is going to be quite an important thing to me. I can tell, I can't wait to watch it again. I didn't quite realize quite how it was going to change my life. So if you don't know what a horror host is, watch the beginning of this, because she starts off as a horror host, and she's trying to raise money to do a show in Vegas. Luckily, what are the chances? She's got inheritance come through, which is a house, a dog, and a book. The book is a spell book. Not that she believes that, of course, and she's just trying to deal with the local small-minded villagers, but the book is real. It's a real spell book, and her Aunt Morgana was a real witch, and she has that legacy, and her uncle, the evil uncle, is trying to get the book off her. And, comedy ensues. It's such a simple little film, really, but it's become a real go-to to a lot of people. It also, talking to cinema letters, has one of the most famous memes or GIFs that you can have, which is she's outside the cinema with the guy that she's interested in, and one of the letters falls on her head from Howard the Duck and hits her on the head. And he goes,
How's your head?
I haven't had any complaints yet.
I wish I could say the same. So those were some of my favorite movies of the 80s and how to survive the 1980s with some real cult classics. From me, Bunny Galore, I'll see you very soon, and I hope you enjoy some of my films here at the Arrow Video Store.